Previously on Sisters in Stars Hollow.
It's a lifestyle. It's a religion.
What are you painting me?
La 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 la.
You can't talk to me or my mother right now.
Under the cover of night, to break into Miss Patty's bistro.
Bird! She had the bird!
Oh, God.
Last episode was so wild. There were just uncomfortable moments.
So much
and it's just
uncomfiness and like, ooh. Rory and her Donna Reed night.
Yeah.
Which was painful. Just pain.
Pain all around.
Just pain. You understand why I said I skipped that one. I was just like,
Yes, I do understand it. Like, if I was rewatching this show, honestly, I probably would also skip that episode. I'm like, I don't want to watch this again.
I don't want to feel the embarrassment of having to see Rory come out in her outfit and say, honey, I'm home. Or you're home. I
don't want to experience that again.
No.
Yeah, once is enough. Once is enough. As much fun as we had talking about the episode, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good.
But yeah, that takes us to this episode. Last episode left off on a little bit of like a cliffhanger.
Because
Christopher
just showed up. It was like, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew obviously it was going to be all about him this episode. But I didn't know what was going to happen. Because you were asking me, like, what do you think is going to... How involved do you think he's going to be? Like, I have no idea. I know nothing about this. I'm surprised he's shown up at all. Like the way that he's been talked about this whole time is that he's like across the country. He's doing his own thing. He's not really in their lives. Mm-hmm. And then we find out all these things during this episode that I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's changing the whole story, like the established story a little bit in this episode.
It is. So yeah, this is a whole episode about Christopher and where he fits into all this. So it'll be fun to go through this and talk about that.
While we're talking, we're going to be drinking.
We are trying a different coffee today in a K-cup form, but it is Bailey's Hazelnut Irish Cream.
I already have been sipping it, and I can say that I don't really taste the Bailey's that much. Like, it tastes good, this coffee, but it's...
I haven't tried it yet.
This is the same feedback we have every time. It's like, the flavor is so subtle. Like, I don't know why I keep expecting something else.
Wait, let me try it. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. It just doesn't taste like Bailey's to me. Like, I kind of maybe smell it in the aroma, but...
Wait, what should Bailey's be tasting like?
Well, have you had Bailey's?
I feel like my experience with Bailey's specifically was like from college, people making weird concoctions with Bailey's.
Okay, so it's been a while.
It's been a while and not in the right way. Well, it has. Like, I have a memory of like someone mixing Bailey's with something they shouldn't have mixed Bailey's with, and
it's curdling.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
It's like curdling and congealing.
Okay. Yeah. So that's not the right usage, maybe, of... There's certain drinks that you mix it and you're supposed to drink it so fast that it doesn't curdle yet.
Wait,
was that the situation?
I don't think so.
I don't remember all the details, but there's a certain drink that you drop. I don't know. You put something in something and you're supposed to just drink it quickly. Because if you don't drink it quickly, the Bailey's will curdle. You don't remember this?
No, and I don't think...
You were served a curdled Bailey's drink. Something was off.
Yes, but
Something
that was
wrong.
Someone making that randomly in my sophomore dorm room.
That's not what I'm talking about.
It's not what you're talking about.
No, there are specific beverages, combos that you put Bailey's in it, and you know that it will curdle in a short amount of time, so you have to drink it quickly.
That was not what I was having. No.
Okay.
This is like underground.
The other thing is you can put it in coffee.
Yeah. No, I feel like I've had Bailey's in a regular way before, I'm pretty sure. I taste it in there. I taste the flavor.
Okay.
Guys, nothing is going to compare right now to the special coffee we had.
The White Christmas.
Santa's White Christmas. We tried it on our coffee break too. It was so good. We had it at some holiday parties recently. We served that. It was still like, wow, this is legit. Really this is like a really good coffee. If anyone thinks they can top it, please send in your rec.
Welcome to try.
Please.
And also, we love to try.
Encouraged. Top it. But what would you rate this Bailey's Hazelnut?
3?
Yeah, it was like a 3 out of 5, maybe even less. Well, it's not that bad.
Like, I feel like if we're saying 2, that's like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Which isn't true for this. It's
no, like, I like it. It's good.
Fine. Like, it's fine.
But it's nothing special.
No. It's got weak flavor.
Yes.
Meh, it's fine.
I'll drink it,
Yeah.
I'll make it for myself.
I'm going to drink it. I'm going to drink my whole cup. I'm not excited by it. It's not exciting me.
It's not exciting.
3.
It's a mean to an ends. Wait, what? How do you say that?
Wait, I think that was right. It's an ends to a means. Wait.
Wait.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a means to an end.
It's a means to an end.
An end singular.
Yeah,
not ends plural.
To an end.
A means to an ends. I don't think that's... It does the job. But,
yeah, 3 out of 5. Bailey's Hazelnut Irish Cream flavored coffee K-Cup. 3 out of 5. All right, well, let's get into this episode. I'm Julia.
I'm Alex.
And this is Sisters in Stars Hollow, Season 1, Episode 15, Christopher Returns. So the episode opens, and we're starting from where we left off on Episode 14, where Christopher has made his return. He is here now, and this episode is all about him. So we are at the Gilmore house, and Rory is making up the couch for Christopher with tons of blankets, clearly very excited that he's here, saying things like she hopes he sticks around for a longer time. Find out that he's never been to Stars Hollow before. Lorelai is not really optimistic about this and is telling Rory to just be happy with the time that she does have with him here. At that time, Christopher comes downstairs. Apparently he was taking a shower, making jokes about how the water pressure was bad. It was the worst shower he's ever had. So there's just a lot of little small talk going on. Rory is asking Chris about Diane. Apparently this was a girlfriend that Rory had met at Easter time. Supposedly Chris said she was the one, but now Diane is ancient history. I think this is just showing that Rory actually does have a relationship with Christopher, but not in Stars Hollow. She's gone to visit him wherever he lives, and she does spend time with him, which has not been made clear up until this point.
Right. That surprised me when that was, established in this episode.
Yeah.
And I think they say this later. He, calls every single week or something. And it's just really? And that's never come up before? And anytime he has come up in past episodes, too, it's been oh yeah, Christopher, I haven't thought about him in a while, a long time. You know what I mean? It's but he's calling your house every week.
Every week.
There's something a little bit I think they kind of decided to change the narrative a little bit with this whole thing. But yeah.
It does. He would have come up. They would talk about him, clearly. They were trying to, piece it back together where it's wait, no, he is in her life, right? But he's just never been to Stars Hollow specifically. But he's here now. But we're also getting a sense that Chris is, a little flaky, not super serious about things, maybe.
Yeah, or will, say he's going to do something, but then not actually do that thing.
Yeah. At the beginning of the episode, we're starting to get that sense. So Rory, again, they're having small talk. She's asking Chris about his relationships. She says to him, "You're worse than Mom." You're finding out both Lorelai and Chris struggle to maintain relationships. This is something they have in common. Rory goes off to study before dinner arrives, and Chris is shocked by this because tomorrow is Saturday, but says she's a great kid. I wish I saw more of myself in her. Other than we have similar left earlobes. He's talking to Lorelai. He says she's all you. Lorelai is just why the hell are you here, Chris?
What? Why are you here? What is going on?
What is happening? You never come here. What the hell are you here? Enough with the small talk. And he says, I've been making some really good changes in my life, and I finally feel like I have all of my ducks in a row. And he's just saying, I've been tying up the loose ends in my life. I'm doing better. I feel like I have everything going for me right now. He said, I don't know how much your dad has told you, but I'm kind of on the verge of being a big success. It's for real this time. I've got a company with actual cash flow. I've got employees. I've got an accountant, for God's sake. He wears a tie and says words like fiduciary. Unironically, it's for real this time. Okay.
All right.
What does Chris do?
Yeah, what is the business?
I don't think it was ever said the entire episode.
I was waiting. I'm what is the business? But then I'm oh, now they're making a point of not telling you what the business is. My business is doing well. I might as well have air quotes around it every time. What
business?
Is it?
Yeah, what are you doing out there in California? Sounds a little shady.
Business.
Business. We all know what that means. Selling drugs. He's a drug dealer.
Something shady.
So Lorelai is well, I would love to believe this. I would love to believe what you're saying, but I don't know. And Chris is well, why does your father have more faith in me than you do? He's come on. And she says, look, I've known you since you were 6. You're the kid that's crashed his new Porsche right after his parents give it to him for your 16th birthday. And he's like, but you were right there with me. She's like, fair, but you were still the one that did that. She's just like, I like hearing that your life is back on track, and I appreciate you coming all this way just to tell us that for the first time, I might add, just to say this to us. And he's like, it's not just that. He sighs and he says, there's some things I need to do to take care of. I haven't been enough of part of Rory's life. So I want to be around more so I can be another pal she can depend on. He says, I'm not crazy. I know she doesn't need anyone more than you, but he would like the chance. Okay.
You want to be a pal? I don't know. I raised my eyebrows at that. Like, oh.
I think it's just adding to like, Chris, do you even know what you're saying? Like,
yeah, like,
I don't know that you do.
Yeah. Does he understand what being a parent actually like entails, and that you can't just like come into your kid's life like that and then not be around? Like, I don't know. It's just like you're messing with emotions and like, I don't know. This isn't a situation where you're coming, I'm just going to be around. I'm going to be your pal now. Like, what?
Okay.
Like, you're her dad. So like, that's kind of, I don't know. It's
this
just
whole
weird
sentence. There's some things that I need to do to take care of. It's like, what? What do you need to do and take care of? That you came here because you need to do and take care of things?
What?
Rory? Like, what do you...
Yeah. Like, do you mean you need to take care... Yeah, do you mean you need to take care of Rory more? Or...
It was confusing. Yeah, so I think it's just more of like, Chris, I don't know if you're mature enough to understand what's going on here. But Lorelai says, well, look, I've always had the door to Rory open for you, and you've hardly ever used it. But Chris, he wants to use it now. At that time, Rory comes out from studying in her room and invites Christopher to a softball game that's happening tomorrow. He thinks Rory's the one playing softball. And both her and Lorelai just start laughing like, no, we are not the athletic type. That's not what's happening here. But Rory says, no, it's for Dean. And Chris accepts to go. As Rory leaves, Chris looks at Rory. God damn it. Rory, guys, I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm not doing this on purpose. It makes me angry.
Makes another appearance.
Chris looks at Lorelai and is shocked that Rory has a Dean. He and Lorelai are just talking about all that and just hanging out, having some drinks. And Chris is grateful that Lorelai is keeping the door open. Fades to the intro song and fades out. It is Saturday. We are at the softball game. Luke is pitching and Dean is about to hit. Rory and Chris are walking to the bleachers and Rory is pointing out who everyone is, and they sit down in the stands. I have to pause because did it feel like to you in this episode that there was like this weird recap of like all the Stars Hollow characters so far?
Okay, I wasn't thinking that it was like a recap, but now that you said that, like...
It was like, was this done on purpose so that we could like, let's recap all the characters we've met?
Let's remind everyone of everybody who's here.
Yeah, but it kind of, because it did touch on all like the main players.
It kind of did. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like Dean and Luke, Kirk was in the stands.
Yeah.
Miss Patty comes over. She points out who Taylor is. She points out who Jackson is. And we see Andrew. I mean, those were like the main, like...
Yeah.
It was a weird recap of like, here's everyone we met in Stars Hollow so far this season. Here's all the crazy kooky.
Like, now that you said that, it's like that... Yeah.
So we're at the softball game and Dean and Luke are going up against each other in this match and they're just like talking smack back to each other. And then Kirk is also there watching the game.
Why was he there?
This is like the first time I feel like we see Kirk in like his element. Where I'm like, this is the start of the Kirk that I love.
Classic Kirk, because it was so funny.
You'll see. It's just like, wait, what? It's so good. It's my favorite. Yeah, Kirk is there too, watching the game, and is just yelling at them. And well, the truth of the matter is that you can't pitch and you can't hit, so this is going to be a terrific matchup. Historic lack of action. And Luke is like, Kirk, don't you have anything better to do with your Saturdays? And he goes, what can I say? I'm addicted to comedy. So good.
It's like he's just showing up here to heckle both the teams. Like,
what? There to heckle them.
Like, who would do that?
He just keeps going the whole time. It's really funny. And then it gets to a point where Luke is like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, then he starts coming and then just like gets up and runs away.
And Kirk just like runs away. So funny. I love that. Love that little scene. But at that time, Dean goes over to introduce himself, says hi to Rory, introduces himself to Chris, and they're bonding over their motorcycles. Is Dean a little young for a motorcycle? I think... He's what, 16 or 17?
I think that high schoolers probably should not have motorcycles. I think they're too dangerous for that age.
Just my opinion.
That is my opinion.
Yeah. He seems a bit young. He can barely drive yet. Like, what? Or is this one of those moped type situations?
I don't think it's a moped. Can you imagine that he drives up to Rory's house? He has a moped.
It's like a pastel moped or something. It's like
it's a pastel.
It's like light yellow or something. He's got a moped.
I don't think he has a moped.
So he introduces himself. He goes away, and Chris is like, "So that was a dean." And Rory confirms that was a dean. Flash to the Independence Inn, and we are in the kitchen, and Michelle and Suki are laughing. They're just laughing it up. They're joking. And Lorelai walks in and sees this and is just like, wow, I've never seen you guys like this before. Just enjoying a pleasant moment together. And they're like, what? We do this all the time. And she's like, no, not ever.
No. No, you don't.
No.
No.
And they're insisting that they do this, and she's really like, no, you really don't. Because of that, Suki and Michelle start saying some stuff under their breath, like, well, it's probably because of you or this or that, whatever. And it turns into them fighting again. Just a funny little scene that happened there. But then Lorelai and Suki are in there talking, and Suki wants to know, like, what's going on with Chris? Like, what's it like having him at the house? And Lorelai just says, yeah, it's a little weird. He asked me to take my shirt off the other day, which was a reference to at the end of episode 14 when he's like, hey,
oh yeah,
take your shirt off. So they just are trying to bridge that gap, I guess. I don't know. And Suki's like, oh, and she's like, no, it was a strange, like, hello thing. Everyone's a bit confused. Lorelai says, I just don't know how I feel. Rory is running around all excited, and I'm not sure if I should be mad. Should I send him to a hotel? I don't know what to do. And then he smiles, and it's Christopher. And no matter how many years go by, it's always Christopher. Okay?
You're not over him yet? Like, what is going on? Lorelai, no.
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 That's my reaction to this. Like, oh, he smiles and it's just him. Well, it's like, okay.
She's like, this man, he knows all my secrets. He's seen me through everything, and he just knows me so well. No, he doesn't, though. That was when you were growing up, when you were 16. Yeah, it's 16 years later.
Like, isn't it, like, you've really a long time after you guys were together? Like,
you've experienced a lot of life since then.
Yeah, so, like, it's not realistic that she would, like, feel like that about this person now.
No.
After everything she's gone through, like being a single mom and just her life, everything. It's been enough years that it's just like, no.
I don't know that she would have that attachment. You would still feel weird and be like, oh, it's Christopher. Like, wow, oh my gosh, like, this is strange. But I don't think it'd be like, wow, I don't know. He just knows everything about me.
He knows everything about me. Like, no, he doesn't.
Not really.
No, he doesn't. Really.
And then Suki's like, okay, well, she's like, do you think you two will ever, like, Lorelai's like, no. But it's unconvincing. She is explaining to Suki that, Chris wants to be Rory's pal. Says that's good if it's true, but who knows because it's Christopher. Flash to Stars Hollow, and Rory is showing Chris around the town. She's pointing out all the stores, specifically points out Al's Pancake World. And he says, good pancakes? And she says, well, he doesn't serve pancakes. He switched to international cuisine a couple years ago and dropped the pancakes. He would have changed the name, but he had already printed like 1 million napkins with the original name, so he just kept it. This is now an explanation of what Al's Pancake World
like
is.
An explicit explanation of what's going on with Al's Pancake World, which we didn't have before. We just
did
had
not.
Oh, you ate fish at Al's Pancake World? Like, what?
You ate clams at Al's? Yeah, that was the most we had. And I was like, Alexander, it's Al's Pancake World. And you're like, what? That is a staple of this show. But Chris asks what kind of international cuisine he does. Rory says that he hops around, and last month was his salute to Paraguay. Did anyone salute back? Not really.
Apparently the Stars Hollowites didn't like the Paraguayan food.
So they're walking around Stars Hollow, and then Miss Patty approaches, and she wants to be introduced to Christopher. She finds out that it is Rory's dad, and she's like, oh, you're Rory's father. Oh, well, Christopher, we're all like Rory's parents around here. I'm like one of her mothers, so that would make us a couple. A couple of what? I don't know.
I wrote down this quote. I wrote this down. I was like, Miss Patty, what are you saying?
Wait, what?
What is going on?
And even Chris and Rory are like, what? okay. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Wow. All right. Let's keep moving.
It's so awkward.
Well, Rory's like, okay, well, we got to get going. But as they leave, immediately you see Miss Patty picks up her cell phone to call someone. Didn't I tell you this is how this works? This is like a proof of what I was telling you that one time where you're like, they would have just immediately known that Dean was at the house. I'm like, yes.
I was like, how did this? Yes. How did everyone know this already? And you're like, you don't understand. They call each other. They tell each other. And this was proof.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, because in the moment when I was watching this episode, she takes out the phone and calls. And I was like, I didn't immediately realize it was like the town gossip train. I thought she was like, I don't know.
What did you think she was calling?
I don't know. I was like, is she like alerting somebody? Like, this is turning into like a spy movie situation where she's like secretly, like she has a secret phone and she like pulls it out and she's like, Agent so-and-so, like Christopher Gilmore. Well, that's not his last name. I don't forget his last name. Christopher Hayden is in Stars Hollow. Like, I'm like, who did she call? That was like, just like my first thought. Like when she's just like secretly pulls out this phone. Yeah,
like, undercover. Chris again is a drug dealer, right? So they're trying to get him. The cops are trying to nab him. The federal agents, and she's undercover. She's like, he's here in Stars Hollow.
I was not expecting the secret like pull out the cell phone. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, no, that was the gossip train.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rory and Chris are walking away, and as they walk, Taylor approaches out of the corner, being like, well, you must be Rory's father, and introduces himself as Taylor Dozy, grocer of Stars Hollow. Again, it's a weird recap.
Recap of all the characters.
Rory and Chris are like, news travels fast around here, and Rory's just like, yes, it does. Taylor also has a portable phone, one of those really old machines. Again, like I said, we're in a weird transitional period of technology, but has one of those portable phones and is calling someone as well. As they walk, they find the Stars Hollow bookstore. They walk in to find Jackson and Andrew. And I know in a previous episode, I was like, Andrew, I don't know. He does run the bookstore. Okay.
Okay.
He's around. I guess of my ranking of characters, which we did say we were going to do at one point, he's probably low, I guess, because I'm like, who cares? Who cares about Andrew?
Well, I liked seeing the inside of the bookshop because I hadn't seen that before, I don't think.
Little local bookstore run by Andrew. And Jackson is also in there at this time. And Jackson immediately is like, hey, Christopher, and introduces himself and says, boy, did they get your description wrong. He says, much more George Clooney than Brad Pitt. And then Andrew thinks he looks more like Billy Crudup. We need to look up who Billy Crudup is right now. Let's look him up because I'm not entirely sure who that is.
Wait, it's in my face. It's this Billy Crudup. I think I need to look for like a young picture. Okay, here we go.
No, guys, he does not look like a young Billy
like
Crudup.
Billy Crudup. What?
He does not look like Billy Crudup with George Clooney or Brad Pitt.
He doesn't look like any of those people.
Poll for this week.
Poll.
Who do you think Christopher looks like? And Jackson is just getting into Chris's personal space, like inspecting him basically. But then says, it's nice to meet you, whoever you look like. Chris and Rory are walking through the bookstore and Chris is like, these people are lunatics and I'm kidnapping you and getting you out of here. I mean, yes.
They're a little wild.
I would feel like Chris did, I think, a little bit like, what the hell? So they're walking to the bookstore and Chris really wants to buy Rory a book. If you could have the book of your dreams, what would it be? And Rory wants the Compact Oxford English Dictionary. Really, Rory? This is the book of your dreams? We knew it was going to be something like that.
Yeah, but seriously, first of all, I knew it was going to be something like that. Like, that's the book of your dreams, really? Like,
aren't you reading anything modern? Aren't you reading anything for fun? That's like, I mean, she reads for fun all the time. Fun.
That's what I'm like. Wouldn't you want to have like a collector's version of like a really epic story or something like that? Like,
she would want something like that, I would think. Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I do. Don't know. I've never read Special Edition, but maybe something like that. Like something
Special Edition type of stuff. Like, of something, even if it's old, whatever. The Compact Oxford English Dictionary. She's like, yeah, it has every word known to man written in there. And it's like, okay.
Does she just like read the dictionary?
I guess so. And then I was like, do you think Rory would read ACOTAR? out there, do you think Rory would like A Court of Thorns and Roses? Do you think she would actually like that type of story?
What an interesting question.
Maybe we should discuss this in one of our coffee breaks.
We should. That would be a great coffee break discussion.
If you guys have thoughts on this, let us know. We'll discuss this in a future coffee break episode because
Would she read ACOTAR?
Yeah.
Or would she enjoy ACOTAR?
Would she enjoy that type of fantasy novel? But yeah, so she wants this compact Oxford English Dictionary, and he says, okay, well, then I'll get it for you. And Rory is like, no, that costs a fortune. I was like, does it? The current one, if you buy it today, is $450.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it is actually, I mean, it would probably be, I guess, back then less expensive, quotation marks, but like, it's
not like an average book price. It's expensive.
It's expensive. It's like, oh, wow, I actually didn't realize that it does cost that much. But Chris is going to get it for her. Rory's really excited about it, says it's so nice of you. And Chris just says, I've got a lot of things to make up for. And they're checking out, and Andrew says, look, sorry, Christopher, but your card was rejected. And Rory wants Andrew to run it again, and Chris says, no, he doesn't need to do that. And it's just really awkward.
It's so awkward. Made even more awkward when he's like, don't tell your mom this happened.
Very uncomfortable.
Christopher, what are
Don't
you
be keeping secrets from the other parent, okay? That's no good.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's like lying, you know? It's like, he's like, oh, my business is doing great. It's doing all that. Then it's like immediately like debunked.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, actually you are in financial trouble potentially, or you have debts or something's going on here.
Yeah. Lorelai was right. But as they're walking away from the bookstore, they run into Jackson addressing a whole crowd of people, describing what Chris looks like, saying things like, yes, it is her real dad. He seems very nice. Kind of a folky, poppy, urban, scruffy look to him. Obviously, there's some money mixed in there because he's got that, money nose. What? Are you saying he got a nose job?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what he was saying. Well, maybe that is what he was saying.
What
was he saying?
What is he trying to say?
I just took that as like, let's make him explain this person in like the most ridiculous way that we can think of right now. Let's make that what he's telling the crowd.
Yeah. And so you can see Rory and Chris standing behind him like, okay, seriously? And Jackson realizes that they're there and is like, and runs away.
It's just very classic, like Jackson, just like, what? He's just running. Okay.
And as he's running, they run with him almost. I mean, they don't run with him. It's not like a
They're running with him, next to him.
They're running with him. It's like, oh my God. They pan, the camera like shifts, and we're inside of Luke's. You see Jackson running, and like we're inside of Luke's, and Lorelai is sitting inside of Luke's. Luke comes over to talk to her and says, hey, Rory was at the game today, and she was with some guy. And Lorelai says, Dean? And Luke goes, no, I know that punk. No. Some older guy. He hates Dean for whatever reason.
That was never established before this episode, so...
He was upset at him after they stayed at Miss Patty's.
Oh, wait.
Do you remember when... So they stayed at Miss Patty's, right? There was that whole fight.
Yeah.
The next episode was the episode where they were in the hospital and all that.
Yeah.
Lorelai goes to Luke's, and he's like, yeah, I told you he was trouble. And
oh, yeah, there was that whole conversation.
That? Yes.
And then it was like, no, I'm the one that said he was trouble, and you said I was being ridiculous.
Yeah.
No. Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess that's continuing where he's like, yeah, that punk, Dean. And also they were fighting at the softball game, right?
Yeah.
So there's like some weird rivalry already happening here. I don't know. But Luke says, no, there was some older guy. And Lorelai says, oh, yeah, that would be her dad. And Luke's like, oh, really? Oh, so that's... She goes, the guy who impregnated me with Rory? Yes. And he looks like, oh, well, he did a good job. She's like, impregnating me with Rory? And he's like, this has taken a very weird turn. I'm going to go now. But at that time, Chris and Rory come in and they recap to Lorelai everything that just happened, who they just saw, what they just did, all that jazz. And Chris's cell phone rings, and Lorelai is like, and points to the no cell phone sign.
Not allowed.
Chris disregards it.
And I felt uncomfortable when Chris just, like, ignored it. Like, I was like, you're not from here.
Right.
You're not one of us.
One of us.
You don't even go here.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to... That's what I was trying to remember. You don't even go here. Like that's it felt like that kind of a moment where it was just like, you can't disregard Luke's no cell phone sign. You're not a native town person. Like, we can do that. It's funny when I do that, and when we do that, it can be funny.
Follow the rules.
Yeah.
But who is calling Christopher? It's Emily. Emily is calling Chris. She wants to talk to Lorelai. So Chris passes the phone. She's like, Lorelai, Christopher's in town. And Emily's just so excited. She's like, oh my gosh. And his parents are in town, Strobe and Francine. Which also, Strobe. Strobe.
I thought that too. Strobe.
Spelled Straub. Straub.
Oh, Straub. I feel like I've at least seen that maybe somewhere.
Where?
Not in real life, like in a book or something. Like I've seen. No.
Who do you know named Straub or Strobe?
I don't know a person named Straub, but I've seen it. Maybe I've read it.
Okay.
When I heard strobe, in my mind, I thought like Strobe.
Oh, like a strobe light. Like,
yes. Like I thought the name. Yeah, I thought the name was that word, and I was like, is that a name? Like I didn't.
Strobe.
It's Strobe.
And Francine. Again, Lorelai's trying to make jokes. The Schnickel Fritzes. I don't know if I understand if there's a reference or what.
I don't know, but I looked up the word Schnickel Fritz because I'm like, what is that word?
Yeah,
it's a Pennsylvania Dutch term for a mischievous or talkative child, used as a term of endearment or a playful scolding. Here's another good tidbit I picked up from the internet.
Okay.
Again, this term is part of a Pennsylvania Dutch dialect and roughly translates to little rascal.
Yeah, okay, so I don't even think that makes sense.
Who was she calling the
She called Strobe and Francine.
Yeah, Schnickel Fritzes. It's like,
no.
What?
Okay, that's funny. Because I didn't look that up, so I'm glad you did. That I don't even think that makes sense for who they are.
I thought it was going to be something like they're like meddling. They're meddling kids, maybe, or something like that from the context. If I had to just guess what that word meant, I didn't know.
When I heard her say that, I was like, oh, the Schnickel Fritzes. I did not think of it as a term of endearment, that's for sure.
Could have been the AI overview that said that.
Okay.
Overall, though, like I looked up like dictionary.com or something.
Rascals. Yeah.
Like that it translates to like little rascal.
But no, the Haydens, Emily's super excited. She called them up to have dinner on Friday. They're free to join. It sounds like everyone is getting together for Friday night dinner. The Haydens, Chris's parents, haven't seen Rory since she was a baby. So Emily thinks this will be a wonderful reunion.
I feel like this is another instance of Emily just being like, I'm going to insert myself into a situation and insert my opinions. Things should be this way. Let me try to force them into that mold that I think they should. It's like, what are you doing? You're inviting all these people over to your house for dinner, like randomly. Did you not realize that there's maybe some like uncomfortableness?
Yeah, there wasn't like any consideration for truly the situation because clearly this family who was close, right? Family friends, it sounds like all of them had a terrible falling out after everything that happened. And so it's like, now it's like, oh, everything's just going to be great. Let's all get together. It's like, really?
Yeah. And just because Christopher just happens to be in town, all of a sudden everything's fine. It's like, that isn't the right catalyst for everything to just be fine all of a sudden. Yeah. Recipe for disaster.
Sorry. She was hashtagging, like, hashtag with her fingers.
That wasn't even what I meant to do, but I just naturally like put my fingers into this like sign and I was like, recipe for disaster.
You were like, she was doing a hashtag recipe for disaster.
Do people still do this?
Oh God, spouting out our ages here. Be like, hashtag this, hashtag that.
Hashtag with your hands.
But yeah, so dun dun dun, what's gonna happen? Flash to Friday night dinner. Lorelai, Christopher, and Rory are all standing outside, and Lorelai and Christopher both separately go like, oh, I've got to see my parents. I've got to see my parents. And Rory is just like, you guys are being super dramatic. Like, think it's going to be okay. Also, Christopher, weren't you here to see your parents anyway? Like, that's why you came into town.
You're right. He said that.
Yes, he did.
Was he lying? What was happening?
Who can say?
Why is he really in town?
Is it fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction. Oh, I can't remember the music right now.
Neither can I.
It's false. He made it up. If you don't know what we're referencing, you Google Fact or Fiction
TV show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that show. I think I will always love that show. It's just never going to get old for me.
Never. So good. But who can say? But both Lorelai and Chris are dreading this dinner. Lorelai unlocks the door. Emily is there waiting for them, and she's super excited to see Christopher. And then there's this whole exchange about how Lorelai didn't ring the doorbell, and she's only supposed to use the house key for emergencies. And I feel like it's just showing, like, they come in, and it's like, Christopher, you're amazing, you're this. And it's like, Lorelai, you didn't do this one thing exactly correct. We're getting that sense.
Do you think that that's the reason that the key was made such a big deal? Because I noticed that they were making a big deal about the fact that, like, she has a house key. And you know where my mind went to? I'm like, they're setting up that someone's going to, like, I don't know. I was like, is Christopher going to, like, take this key and then, like, do something with the key later? He's going to break into the house. Someone's going to, like, steal the key and break into their house or something. Something weird's gonna happen with this key. It just was like
they were zoom in on it.
Yes, yeah, like they were like they made like such a weirdly like specific, like, we're gonna make the audience really aware that this key is here in Lorelai's possession, and she didn't normally have a key, but now she has a key to this house. And I was like, okay, why is this important? Like,
yeah. I like where you're going, but that's no.
I mean, as the episode went on, that went out of my. I'm like, okay, I don't think that's anything. But like in that moment, I was like, something's gonna happen with this key.
What's
like, why are they focusing on this?
Yeah, they really were like, look at this key. Yeah.
Like,
no, I think
she has a key now.
I think it was literally just for that little exchange for Emily to be like, you're not supposed to use the key. It's for emergencies. You know that, and then.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like too much. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little.
It's like, I have a key now. She's opening up the key. Lorelai, you have used a key to our home. Like, okay.
Lorelai is like, okay, it was a setup in giving me this key just for her to like yell at me. And Christopher is laughing at her. This whole night is showing this dynamic of everyone's being like, oh, Christopher.
Yeah, which I still don't really get.
I don't
actually
either.
At all.
I don't get that either, but we can discuss as the night goes on.
Okay.
They go into the sitting room. Richard is excited to see Rory and just nods at Lorelai. Doesn't really say much to her, but is super excited to see Christopher. Christopher asks how Richard is doing, and Richard says, well, I'm better than most, not as good as some, and annoyed at all. Might be a quote for me of the episode.
Are there shirts with this quote?
This one, we might have to make shirts with these quotes about being, I'm annoyed at people. People annoy me.
People annoy me.
I think we need to. Richard is making martinis and is talking to Christopher and wants to know how his business is going. And Christopher says, it's so good, I don't want to jinx it. Then as all of them are talking together, Emily says that Rory definitely has Christopher's musical talent. And Lorelai just starts laughing and being like, wait, what? Neither of these two have any musical talent. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Christopher only knows like a couple notes on his guitar. And I just think that's so funny because, like, yeah, Rory does not play an instrument or anything like that.
Yeah, she doesn't do music.
So it's like, where is she even getting that from? And then Richard is like, yeah, I'm a Chuck Berry man myself. And Lorelai almost like spits out her drink being like, what? When was that the case? Chuck Berry? And Richard is like, yes, Chuck Berry. He was all the rage when I was in school. And it's like, does he actually even know who Chuck Berry
know who that is?
And like, I don't think he does. Like, I feel like for some reason there's this like, oh, we have to like look like we're cool in front of Christopher and we want him to like us. And we think, this dynamic, this whole everything is so strange to me.
They're trying to like impress Christopher and his family is what they're trying to do like the whole time.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like.
And I don't,
until it all turned into a fight, but like before that.
I don't understand that. Maybe as we discuss, we'll come up with some
we can discuss more later. Yeah.
And so then Emily is like, oh, remember that production you did when you were kids? You find out that Lorelai and Christopher, when they were kids, reenacted a scene from Your Good Man, Charlie Brown. And Richard thought that Christopher wrote it. And they're all being like, oh, Christopher, you're so talented. And continuing this like, wow, trying to be like, Christopher, you're amazing. At this point, Christopher's parents arrive, Strobe and Francine.
Strobe.
And so Lorelai's like, haha, your turn, Christopher. No, your parents are here.
Your parents are here. Hello. Ha ha.
Ha ha. But at that time, Rory's like, wait, this is weird. These are my other grandparents, and I've never met them.
That is kind of weird.
It is. She's like, what do I call them? Good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question, yeah.
Really good question. Lorelai and Christopher aren't helpful in this at all. They're like, just call them Strobe and Francine. Mr. and Mrs. Hayden. Blah, I don't know. And so Rory's like,
okay.
Okay.
What?
No one prepped me for this. Strobe and Francine come in. You can tell they're very cold people. They say hello to Rory, and they haven't seen her in quite a while. One of them says that Rory was just starting to speak in complete sentences the last time that they saw her. Lorelai tries to make a joke like, oh, so not for 2 years then, which is objectively funny.
It's really funny, but also like kind of inappropriate for the situation.
It is.
Like, what?
It totally is, especially with these people, and everyone is quiet. Funny, but inappropriate. So everyone's just quiet and like, seriously? And Lorelai's just like, I was just trying to make a joke. And I think Strobe says, I see you haven't changed, Lorelai. Rory says hello and curtsies.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, this is so uncomfortable. So there's some small talk happening amongst all of them. You find out that Strobe is retired and they've retired to the Bahamas. And Richard is saying that he's very pleased with Chris's business success. They're all like, yes, things seem to be coming together. Francine is telling Christopher to straighten his tie throughout the entire evening. Christopher, your tie. Christopher, your tie. And I just find it interesting. It's like they have the same parents, basically, like the same rules and expectations. And at this time, Rory is like, oh, maybe I should say something, which if I was Rory, I would have just kept quiet.
I would have just sat there.
And she's not sure what to call them. So she's like, Strobe and Mr. Are you enjoying your time here, you two?
Yeah, because she doesn't know what to call them.
She doesn't know what to call them. She doesn't know what to say. It's like, oh, God. So Strobe is like, how old are you? Says she's 16. And then he says, a dangerous age for girls. Okay. Shut up.
And not for guys, like what? Mm-hmm. Not for anyone at that age. Like,
yes.
No.
Clearly, he has a certain viewpoint of this whole thing. I was like, I was not happy in watching this fight go down. Emily and Richard are like, no, Rory is a very special student. She's very bright. Strobe, you should have a talk with her. She would give you a run for your money. And they're like, oh, yeah. And they're like, oh, is that so? They're like, yep, that's right. And they all just stare at Rory, just waiting for something to happen. And Rory does not know what to do, so she just stays quiet. What is she supposed
to say in that moment? Like,
no one asked her a question.
Right. They all are just like, oh, you're smart. Oh, are ya? And then it's just like, they all look over. It's like, what are you supposed to say? Like, what would anyone say in that situation?
What is she supposed to say? And then Strobe says, I think my money is safe.
Okay, that's... I don't like these people.
Francine doesn't really say much, but she also doesn't just help the situation. But I do not like Strobe. So then Lorelai, trying to take the pressure off of Rory and maybe also cause some trouble, says, I hate President Bush. He's stupid and his face is too tiny for his head, and I just want to toss him out. And they're like, that is the leader of our country.
His face is too tiny for his head? What kind of a thing is that to say?
That made me laugh.
I know. I was like laughing out loud at that.
Yeah, that was funny. And Emily and Richard are like, just ignore her. But then Strobe is like, I see your daughter is out of control as ever, Richard.
Can't roll my eyes hard enough.
God, this whole thing that goes down. Christopher is like, okay, let's be civil. Strobe is like, tell me, Lorelai, what have you been doing with your life anyway, besides hating on successful businessmen? I'm just curious. Lorelai says, well, I run an inn. And of course, that's beneath them, right? So he's like, oh, really glad to see you found your calling. And is your life everything you hoped it would be? I wouldn't take such a haughty tone when you announced to the world that you work in a hotel. They're fighting back and forth about this, and everyone is trying to change the subject. But Strobe will not let it go. And Richard is getting angry. You can see him over there like, okay, this is...
not okay.
And then Strobe keeps going and he says, if you had attended a university as your parents had planned and as we had planned in vain for Christopher, you might have aspired to more than just a blue-collar position. I wouldn't care about you derailing your own life if you hadn't swept my son along with you. And at that point, Lorelai tells Rory to leave and go to the next room because this is getting ugly.
Too much.
Yeah.
Can I point out, that they, at this point, have still not actually said what Christopher's quote-unquote business is. And it's like,
throughout this entire thing, we don't know what he's actually doing.
What is he doing? Well, because they just keep going, his business. Now we're getting into this thing where like accusations are being thrown around about the specifics of what a person's career is.
Yes.
So that's why I'm bringing it up here, because it's like, okay, we're almost at the end of this episode and we still don't know what Christopher's business is.
Right.
And
I don't think we ever do.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't think we do the whole time. But like, I'm just in this scene, it's just is extra like important. Almost
it
feeling
is,
because
it's like what is he actually doing? I feel like back in the day, it's just like, oh, he's a businessman. You know, it's like that was like a thing. You're in business. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, but that's such. I feel like I was with a group. We were joking about this the other day, like that one of our friends or something, like they were at a family party or something, and someone was like, "Oh, what are you doing nowadays?" And they were like, "I'm in business." And it's just like, who says that now? Like,
exactly. It's like
I'm in business.
You're in business.
Like that could literally mean anything. It's like, okay, you work for a company. Like, okay,
what do you do?
What does that company do? What do you do?
That is like the. That's why when someone's like, "Oh, I have a business," it's like, "So you're peddling drugs?" Yes. Like that's what that means, because you don't want to say what you do. Like if someone in modern times is like, "Oh yeah, I'm in business."
I'm in business. Okay,
doing what?
Yeah, right.
You can't just be in business.
That's what I'm saying. That's like we were like joking about that because somebody said that in a conversation. Like what? Like what? That's a weird response, right? But like that's what's happening in this scene.
It is.
That's
yes.
why I'm like laughing. Or in this whole episode,
this whole
thing. Like they keep bringing up Christopher's business. Like what is it?
But yes, it would have been important for this. But
no,
alas,
we still don't know.
But yeah, so Richard is like, okay, yeah, these two made a mistake 16 years ago, but they've come a long way since then. And Strobe was like, mutual mistake? This whole evening is ridiculous. We're supposed to sit here like one big happy family and pretend that the damage is done, is over and gone? I don't care how good a student that girl is. Our son was bound for Princeton. Every Hayden male attended Princeton, including myself, but it all stopped with Christopher. It's a humiliation we've had to live with every day, all because you seduced him into ruining his life. She had that baby, and she ended his future. How dare you, sir? Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. Get out of here.
And that's what Richard does.
Yeah,
that's what Richard does.
And I'm really glad.
Yes, Richard, thank you. He's like, you're not leaving. I'm kicking you out. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. Like, why? No, this dude is just evil, terrible man.
Terrible.
I hope we never see him again. Get out of here.
Yeah. I don't even know what else to say.
I don't even know. Yeah. I'm like, we're going to unpack. First of all of that is just, I mean, it's so sexist.
Yes.
Then there's the whole thing of it doesn't even make any sense. Well, for multiple reasons, but also like, that's not even like what happened. Did Christopher decide to not go to college because of this?
That's what is being implied.
But that doesn't make any sense. Because he like left them, didn't he?
Right. He didn't.
He left them. He wasn't even around.
He wasn't around. I don't know where Christopher was this entire time. They don't explain that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's never explained. He could have gone to college.
He literally just left them.
Yes.
Was not around. He could have just gone to college and just lived his life, which would have been a shitty thing to do. But I'm just saying, like, he could have.
Right. So like, the fact that he didn't go to college, which he does bring up later on in this episode, saying I wouldn't have made it anyway, is on him. They want to blame other people for Christopher's mistakes.
I think he is just an incompetent person, and they're blaming Lorelai.
Yeah, that is what is happening.
That is. He had control.
He did
over his life.
Yes, and just I hate the fact that he says you seduced him.
Yeah, like what?
Oh, shut up!
No, that's just false.
Fuming. Fuming. Like
it's gross.
Gross. Just
wow.
But yeah, so they kick them out. Richard is like, get the fuck out of my house. You insulted my daughter. You insulted my granddaughter. You insulted my family. Get out of here. And you know what? Yeah, it was 16 years ago. And you haven't gotten over that.
Yeah, you need to get a life.
Go see a therapist.
Yeah. Yes. They need therapy. Those people need therapy.
Those people need therapy, but it's still haunting them too 16 years later. Go see somebody about this.
Yeah.
Clearly you need help. Everyone storms out of the room. Lorelai and Christopher are left standing there together. Christopher is just like, and you brought up Bush because... And she's like, it seemed like a good idea at the time. And she just goes like, I feel 16. Similar type fights probably happened when they were 16.
Yeah.
Fade to, we see Richard sitting in his office, and Lorelai goes in to ask if he wants something to eat, but he's not very hungry. And Lorelai wants to thank Richard for standing up for her and defending her. And she says she knows it was hard for him to do, but just wanted to thank him. And Richard says, why do you think I did it? She says, I don't know, out of protectiveness, I guess. And he says, you don't need to be protected. You made it clear. You don't need anything from anyone. But a member of my family was being attacked, and the very Gilmore name was being attacked, and I will not stand for that. And she says, well, it doesn't really matter why you did it. And he says, yes, it does. What are you going to take away from all of this? That everything that happened in the past is suddenly fine because I defended you? The hell you put your mother and me through is suddenly washed away? It's not. I had to tell my friends, my colleagues, that my only daughter, the brightest in her class, was pregnant and leaving school. And then you run away and you treat us like lepers. Your mother couldn't get out of bed for a month. Did you know that? We did nothing to deserve that.
Okay. Sorry, Lorelai's like, okay, now you're yelling at me again, too. This was 16 years ago. Can we just,
Lorelai says, I get it, I'm horrible. Then why don't you disown me and adopt Christopher? You love him. And he says, don't be naive. You think I love the boy that got my daughter pregnant? I wanted to kill him. But there was a proper procedure, marriage. Chris was willing to follow it, but you weren't. And she says, what about what I wanted? Didn't that matter to you at all? And he says that sometimes you have to sacrifice something in order to do what is right. And she says that she feels so sad for him. And Lorelai is like, okay, so we just end it here, nothing resolved. And Richard just says, I'm tired. And she says, okay. And they part ways. I didn't know how to feel about this scene.
It made me feel sad.
Well, yes. Okay, base emotions. Yes, I was sad.
Emotions. Okay, he stood up in the moment, but then I think the whole incident just dragged up a lot of negative feelings from the past.
That makes sense.
Which then he was feeling all those negative feelings and got into that headspace is what it seemed like.
And just brought out all that stuff that he never got to say, maybe.
That could
to
be.
Lorelai, because that could happen, where you're just like, and this, and I never got to tell you that made me upset and sad and angry,
I just wish they could resolve this and stop being upset about the past.
Me too, because it's like, they're doing okay. And Rory's doing well.
Right. This narrative of your life is ruined, I think is not accurate.
I don't understand. I mean, it's the whole premise of the show, but I just don't understand being 16 years ago, you did this.
Yeah.
And it changed the whole trajectory of our life. And it's like, yes.
Yeah, it did.
But everyone seems to be doing okay. Yeah, I'm sure those initial years were tough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But we're doing good. We're doing good, you guys. We're doing, I don't know.
Yeah. It's not like there's, we can put it this way. There aren't new things that keep happening because of that thing.
Yeah.
Where it's I don't know, new problems, new negative things, I would say.
Right.
Aren't constantly happening.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Because of that.
They're just living life. You know what I mean? It's just, there's no,
But they keep blaming it on that. Not blaming it, but it's keeps being brought back to that whenever there's fighting happening. It's okay, we all need to go to a group session.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we need to heal these wounds.
Yes.
In the souls.
Oh. Flash 2, Emily finds Rory in the kitchen. Emily is trying to be cheery and being, quite a bit of excitement tonight, but, not the good kind. And she tries to say, none of this means anything, Rory. And then goes into Strobe, he's a good person. He has many accomplishments as an attorney or whatnot. And Rory's like, yeah, that's great, And then Emily's like, oh, let's face it, he sucks. He's an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Both of us are nodding. We're nodding. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yes.
That was the right thing.
He's an asshole.
Thumbs up. And then she says, Rory, I know you've heard a lot about various disappointments this evening, and I know you've heard a lot about it in the past, like we just said. But I want to make this very clear. You, young lady, your person, and your existence have never been, not even for a second, included in that list. So that was good.
That was good.
That was good. Emily,
I'm really glad that she went and said that.
Yes, that's being a good grandma.
Yes.
Right there. Flash 2, Lorelai is outside on a balcony right outside of her bedroom, and Christopher finds her there. Say this was a memorable evening. Lorelai says we should commemorate it with an oil painting or a severed head.
What is her problem?
Spooky moment right there. She wants to chop heads off with chainsaws.
Why did she say these things?
She said it to Dean.
A severed head? Lorelai. Okay. I'm just tired.
Anyway, so they try to cheer each other up by remembering the good times they had growing up out on the balcony, looking at stars, scanning the neighbors' houses for naked people.
Also weird.
Also weird.
I'm sorry.
You're going to be like, oh God, but I just have to. There was a lot of like big vocab used in this episode. And she's like, yeah, this Mrs. So-and-so undulating in her underalls. And I was like, excuse me? That was just a disturbing image. Like, I'm sorry, I just had to.
Yeah. I don't want to like picture that.
I know.
I don't want to picture that.
Anyway, they're laughing about it. Made them feel better. Like, yeah, that was hilarious. Like, really? That would be disturbing to witness.
Gross. That's gross.
That's a spooky moment, too. So, yeah, they're reminiscing about all that, but they're feeling better. Quick fade. We're outside of Luke's, and he is waiting for Lorelai to come paint because it is Friday.
It's Friday night.
And she said she was going to come paint with him on Friday, get out of Friday night dinner a little bit early, which I don't know why she did that in the first place, because she's not allowed
to like miss out on that. So
yes.
She's like, oh, I'll just leave early? Or like, what?
No.
That doesn't make sense.
Forget anyone else being there. Why did you pick Friday night?
Yeah,
like, no, that was a bad idea. But anyway, she was supposed to be painting because she promised that last episode, but doesn't look like she's showing up. So Luke walks back inside, visibly frustrated.
I couldn't believe she stood him up.
She stood him up.
Couldn't believe this.
Stood him up. Fade back to, what is Lorelai doing? Who is she doing? Her and Christopher are about to do it on the balcony. It's like,
what are
seriously?
They doing?
What are you doing?
What the heck are you doing? What the heck? Lorelai,
what?
I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
I was watching this. I was like,
yeah.
What the heck are you doing? I'm just going to say it again.
It won't be the first time.
It won't be the first time. Oh, no, Julia, no.
That you're going to be mad at her?
Yeah.
What is she doing? It's not. I'm sorry. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but like, I don't know. It's just,
you're like, you don't even know. You don't even know.
You're not even ready.
It's like you keep saying that you're not ready. You're not ready. What's going to happen next? I have to watch this show at a painstakingly slow pace, and it's just like the suspense is like. I know. I think I've said this before. I'm just used to binging stuff, and it's just like
even slower than like it would be if it was coming out weekly, probably.
Yeah, kind of. It's like in phases. There's like different paces. Yeah. I'm just used to sitting down and just watching the season over a few days, and I'm like,
what is going to happen?
What is going to happen? But what the heck, Lorelai? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Okay, there's so many reasons why this is upsetting.
Yeah.
One of which is like, really, you're just on a balcony and like a big, really dramatic fight just happened and your parents are downstairs. Like,
yeah. And you and Christopher.
Your daughter is like in the house. Like, what if she just comes up to like find you? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is not
so inappropriate.
Both
of
you.
They're both to blame.
Yeah, okay. Okay, both. I don't know Christopher as much, so I'm yelling at her.
No, but like...
yes, both of them.
This goes against everything we just said.
Christopher, I'm like, I don't know you, so I'm not going to say anything. Lorelai, I know you. What are you doing? What the heck are you doing? I feel like I'm Lorelai's parent now. Yeah. It's like, Lorelai.
Also, is it not cold? I was like, it's cold.
Wait, and
they're on concrete and stone. There's no way that this is an enjoyable experience.
Enjoyable. This is not comfortable. Everything about it is just like
everything leading up to it, and now you're where you are, and the season. And the
temperature.
And the fact that you had a date with Luke and you stood him up and you're doing it with Christopher on the balcony of your parents' home. It's just no. Thumbs down.
It's like weird low point, I feel like, for her. Like, I just, no. Yeah, well, okay, everyone else is just, like, in the house. They're like, where'd Lorelai and Christopher go?
Yeah, they're not.
I don't know.
We're not going to go see where they are.
Go.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
No one walked in on them.
What, like, Emily and Rory, like, were together. What if they were just like, let's go find your mom? Like, they just go and she's doing it with Christopher on the back.
Like, what the hell?
Can you imagine that?
So that's happening. Then it fades to after. And Lorelai just keeps saying, wow. She's so shocked that this just happened. I mean,
you're shocked?
You did.
You're not drunk. Like, you're not. You're not mentally impaired right now by some substance.
This seemed pretty consensual from the both of you. So I don't know if you can be that shocked that this just happened. And Chris is just like, what? And she's like, this is the last thing I thought that would ever happen tonight. Okay.
You did it.
You could have easily stopped.
You could have stopped at any point.
At any point. That fight really turned you on. That fight was like, yes.
that was like, oh, man. I'm going to try to play devil's advocate to myself here.
Okay.
Is like, when she's like, I feel like I'm 16 again. She went up to that balcony and they were reminiscing about old times. Maybe she was thinking like, wow, this is my like old friend and we understand each other.
And it'd be comforting.
Like, it's comforting. Like, as a friend, like, this is my friend, you know? And we understand each other. Like, we both have, like, parents' issues. We both have this thing that happened in the past. Like,
to us.
You know what I mean?
And,
like, there's a camaraderie there, maybe. Like, I guess she got swept up in that. You know?
Yeah.
That's the other side of it. But, like,
no. And Christopher's just like, yeah, it was unexpected, but it was great. And she's like, oh, God, we need to go. Flash to the drive home with Lorelai, Christopher, and Rory. And Rory's just being like, so, where were you guys? And they're like, nowhere.
What? Okay.
Where's nowhere? They're like, where we were? And Rory's just like, okay. Probably shouldn't have even asked where you guys were. They also could have just been like, we were just talking.
Yeah. They could have just been like, we were.
Say.
No, we
nowhere.
What makes you think we went out on a balcony and we're doing anything? What? I didn't say that.
I didn't think that or say that. But
I wasn't thinking
now
it
before. I'm weirded out. Flash back to the Gilmore house. Everyone is saying goodnight to each other. Just awkward goodnights between Christopher and Lorelai. Just like, okay,
like,
goodnight. This is
okay, bye. That's exactly what they sounded like.
Kind of. It was pretty close. And so it's very uncomfortable, but they all are saying goodnight. And then Rory is inspecting Lorelai. She just leaves and dirt all over her. Again, this was not an enjoyable experience, I'm telling you. There's leaves and dirt all over you.
Because they were basically like on a roof. Like, it wasn't a roof, but it was like
it was concrete and stone.
It was concrete and stone were the materials used to create the balcony.
Concrete and stone. You are in pain. I'm sorry, but if you did it on those materials, you are in pain. You are bruised.
You have bruises now on your body.
Your back hurts. You are unwell. Lorelai is like, with everything happening, we didn't get a chance to talk about what happened tonight. And she's trying to say, like, look, all that stuff they said was aimed at me. And Rory is sad because she feels like, her other grandparents don't even want to know her. And Lorelai says, that's their loss. And she says, look, there's no regrets from me or your dad about you, which is good. Everyone's trying to reassure her, like, look, forget them. They suck.
Forget them.
We love you. We have no regrets about you. You're amazing.
Don't listen to anything that they're saying.
But then everyone goes to bed. Flash to the next morning. Lorelai wakes up and she realizes she forgot and she stood up Luke. She runs to Luke's in her pajamas. She's there before he arrives and she is apologizing profusely about how she's the worst because they had a date and she didn't even call and she stood him up. And Luke is clearly upset and is like, no, don't worry about it. It wasn't a date. It was just to paint. Lorelai wants to reschedule. She's trying to make it up to him. And he says to her, was it an emergency? And Lorelai says yes and starts making up this story. And then she's like, no, it wasn't an emergency. It was just me being a rat. And he goes, something came up, someone. Am I right? And Lorelai just says, yeah, I'm sorry. And Luke says, yeah, well, I'm late. And then leaves her there on the front porch steps.
She can never explain what happened in like a normal way. Like when these things happen. I'm just thinking back to like when she forgot about a date with Mr. Medina because there was like a funeral happening like next door, and she couldn't just like explain, look right there. Like there's like certain things, like I feel like in this situation, it doesn't. I mean, she still forgot about it. She still stood him up, but like she could have explained that, like, yeah, remember when I said I was going to leave my parents' dinner early? Like some stuff happened and I couldn't leave early, and I'm so sorry I forgot to call you. I don't feel like it was communicated like what actually happened, and it like bothers me.
Yeah,
like, you still stood him up, but like I don't know. This is the way I think. That's basically like her best friend, besides Suki.
It's her male best friend.
Like
she could have.
You can say what happened.
Like he knows enough about the parents' situation and things like that.
That's that's my point. Like he knows enough about her that he could have kind of explained like what happened. Like
yes, and he still rightfully could have been upset.
Oh well, yeah, totally.
But she could have explained it better. But then flashback to the Gilmore house. Chris is up and making coffee and asks where she was. And she says, fruitlessly trying to rectify a ratty transgression. A lot of big vocabulary to describe what just went down. But also like, yeah, I have that as a contender for my quote of the episode. Where I was like, okay. Like very like profound way to say it. But Chris offers coffee to Lorelai, but Lorelai doesn't want any. And Chris is like, what's up? You don't want any coffee. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Me on coffee watch. Yeah, aside. Coffee watch. Yeah, this is the coffee moment.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there was another one. Really?
I didn't notice another one or write down another one. So this is the coffee moment of this episode.
Yes.
Coffee watch.
Dun-dun-dun.
Coffee watch. It's different every time. I don't know. Coffee watch. I'll keep working on it.
We'll work on that.
I'll keep working on it.
So we know things are off because Lorelai does not want coffee. And Chris starts bringing up last night. Lorelai is just recapping the whole night and the whole morning and the fight with everyone and her father. She's saying like, gosh, a lot happened.
Yeah.
Last night. Like just everything. There was a fighting with everyone, with her father, doing it with Chris. Her standing up Luke and seeing him hurt, and it hurt her. And it was all stupid and dumb. And it's not Chris's fault, but it's just in this parade of stupid and dumb, I'm the one who's twirling the flaming baton. And then Chris just goes, I want to marry you. Lorelai stares at him like, what? And she goes, and the hits just keep on coming. I also loved how she said that line, like, what? And Chris is like, just think about it. And she goes, you're insane. And he says, come on, we're already a family.
No, you're not.
She goes, who? He goes, you, me, and Rory. And she's like, you don't even know what a family is. And Chris says, it's people living together. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Get out of here. Everyone just get out. Yeah. Just everyone in this episode, just get out. Just get out. Just get out. Just leave her alone.
Yes.
She needs to just, like, reset.
Yes.
For a couple days. Like,
she does.
Get away.
I can't believe he said that. It's people living together.
It's people living.
What? She's like, no, it's a big commitment. It's responsibility. It's hard work. It's coming home at the same time to the same place every day. And Chris is like, what? What do you want? A financial statement? I can be a family man now. And she's like,
so
no.
Weird.
You can't even buy a book without your card being declined. He's like, Rory ratted me out. And she goes, no, everyone in town knew and told her. It was the lead story on the Stars Hollow webpage. And Rory confirmed it reluctantly. And she says, also, what's with that? Telling, my daughter to lie to me. He goes, she's my daughter too. She says, more like a playmate. And he goes, I don't deserve that. I'm just as mature as you. And then they start going into this argument about different bands and who's better and where's Metallica, Offspring, blah, blah, blah. Showing like, okay, they're having like this immature conversation. Yeah. And then Chris says, I'm the immature and irresponsible one. I was the one willing to get married when you weren't, when you got pregnant. And she says, we were too young. We wouldn't have made it, and you know that. And he says, well, we're not too young now. And then he says, well, what did last night even mean to you? But it's like, no, we can't get married. We barely know each other as adults. And then Chris says, well, let's get married and get to know each other as adults.
That's not the order you do things.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
That's a very bad idea.
Bad idea. X.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Red flag.
Yeah. Wave the red flag.
Beep, beep, beep. Alarm. Beep, beep. Warning. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not the order you do things. No.
And Lorelai says, well, that's very Fiddler on the Roof of you. I like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, fine, let's get to know each other right now. What do you want to know? What? No. And then she says, how's your business really doing? He can't answer that question. And he says, I was going to tell you about it, I swear. And she says, you just sat there. And you just sat there at the table last night smiling and nodding while my dad and your dad went on and on about your great big business success in California. And he goes, I did not want to upset anyone. I wanted it to be a good night. And what did you want me to do? Announce to everyone that on top of everything else they were upset about, that I'm the biggest loser in the world? She says, you're not a loser. You're a liar, but you're not a loser. Kristen says, look, we're arguing like an old married couple. Doesn't that show potential? And he goes, I've been looking for the one, Laura, the soulmate, but I just believe it's you. It's always been you. Rory might be my only child. It's hard on me, and I don't realize how much I miss Rory until I see her, and maybe it's just easier staying away. And Lorelai says, no, don't stay away. Rory needs her dad. Didn't sound too convincing when she said that, but I went, okay. Just trying to be nice. She needs her dad. She
needs you.
He says, or a pal. She says, I think she'd take a combo. I just want to say through all of this, I'm like, Rory is listening to this, isn't she? Her bedroom door is right there.
I forgot. Her bedroom's not upstairs. It's like right next to them.
Yes.
It's like in that room.
She heard that whole thing. It's like,
why does that keep happening in this house too? Like, there's the person you're talking about is like 5 feet away from you.
And you're not whispering.
Yeah.
It's very loud. Flashed outside, Christopher is leaving on his bike. And Rory says, call us when you get home and call more. They hug goodbye, and he whispers something in Rory's ear. Rory says it to Lorelai and says, Dad wants to know if you'll reconsider. Lorelai whispers something back, and Rory says, nope, Offspring sucks, and Metallica rules. Chris says, fair enough. Then Lorelai and Chris kiss on the lips, and Lorelai says, drive safe.
What is going on?
I would have expected more of like a hug and kiss on the cheek type of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
On the lips. What are you doing?
What what is going on? What is she just like, she's confused, he's confused, they're all confused.
Everyone's confused.
So where was he going then at the end of this episode? To his parents' house?
Maybe. Who knows? He just drove off.
He left as quickly as he came.
Yes.
It was a blur.
Chris drives off on his motorcycle. Where is he going?
We just don't know.
As he drives off, Rory says to Lorelai, he wanted you to marry him, didn't he? Lorelai says, spy. It's like, well, she was right there.
Yeah, she was right on the other side of the door.
He probably was like, I can't leave until they're done with my conversation.
She's like awake. She's like, I am now stuck here until this conversation is done.
Yes. And Rory says, crazier things have happened. And Lorelai says, crazier than your mom and dad being married? And she says, yeah. And Lorelai says, I don't think they have. And Rory says, why is that so crazy? And Lorelai says, because he wants things he is not ready for. I know him so well, you have no idea. And Rory's like, well, maybe he can change. Maybe it's different. He came here this time and he's never done that before. And Lorelai is like, stop. Don't get yourself all worked up over this. And Rory says, he loves you. And do you love him? And Lorelai says, I will probably always love him, but that doesn't change the fact that he still has a long way to go before he's ready to take us on full time. And she says, it just wasn't right. You have to trust me on that. Rory says, I still think there was something a little different. And Lorelai says, maybe you're right. Let's not put away the blankets just yet. You never know. I mean,
like he might turn around and come back and be like,
what? I want to stay longer.
I want to stay longer here.
Why is she making Rory's hopes go up when clearly she doesn't really want him around?
Yeah.
Lorelai
That's what I'm
just
confused. I'm just confused. It's like she loves him, but she doesn't want him around. He's not ready for this. We can't even talk about it. He has to leave immediately. Where is he going? What is his this whole
he's a mystery.
A lot of questions.
A lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue.
Yeah. Overall, I'm just like, I don't know, Christopher. I don't know if this really just added turmoil.
You did.
The life.
You did predict this.
Left. What did I say?
One of your predictions was show up, cause a bunch of emotions, and go. You did say that.
Okay.
Which is, I think that was a correct prediction.
What just happened. That is literally what just
happened.
Like,
you're not wrong. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
He came in, stirred everybody up.
Yes.
Riled everybody, parents.
Yeah.
And then he drove away on his motorcycle.
Very confusing. But we're not over yet. We flash to Luke's, And Luke walks into the diner and you see Lorelai is in there and she has repainted the entire diner.
She broke into his diner and painted it without his consent.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay! Now that's someone who cares.
I had to point out. It's like, oh, you're in the diner. Like, well, this is my establishment.
Like, she's like, ta-da. And he's like, how did you get in here? That's his first thing. And she goes, your bread guy let me in. And he's like, I'm switching bread guys. Why did he let you in?
Why did he let you in?
And she goes, what do you think? He goes, I think you shouldn't break and enter.
But yeah, she painted.
He thinks it looks pretty good. She is giddy. She had so much fun with painting. She could be high on the paint fumes.
She could be.
But then Luke says, so where's the guy? She says, oh, he's gone. And he goes, oh, too bad. And she says, we'll be fine. And then she goes, Luke, can I make one more suggestion? Curtains. And he goes, no. And she goes, manly curtains. And he says, oxymoron. She goes, what did you call me? And it fades to them joking and fighting. And it fades out of Luke's with Tamala's. And that is the end of episode 15. Wow.
So far, my feelings are a little bit negative towards Christopher.
Yeah.
I'm like not impressed by him, by his existence.
Yeah, pretty unimpressive right now. That's all we know. It's all we've seen. Does he come back? Who knows? But
I don't know at this point. I don't know. But he could. I could see him coming back. But again, now, based on what just happened, and I feel like if he does ever come back, they're going to try to make him a more like recurring character, like being around.
Okay.
But that's not going to happen anytime soon. If that happens, that's going to be in like a few seasons from now. It's just like, oh, Christopher came back and now he wants to hang around and try to like be part of our lives more. And he's living here now. Like he's a character in the town, basically. It's Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's just going to not.
Or was this a one-time?
Yeah, this could have been a one-time thing. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see him anytime soon.
Yeah.
I will say that. I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure about that. Okay, the other thing we mentioned earlier that they established that he's on the phone with them like every week.
Mm-hmm. They never show that.
Has never been mentioned before, and I don't think it's going to be brought up again. So, like, just a random thing. Yeah, I call here every week. Like, okay, no, he's out of the. He's out. Okay, let's recap.
All right.
Fashion. Everything was kind of like non-notable today.
Nothing stood out.
Yeah, nothing really stood out to me.
Maybe Lorelai's pajamas.
That's true. She was wearing pajamas. And it was noticeable.
They were noticeable, like fun pajamas.
Yeah, there was nothing really like, notable. I don't
know.
I
don't know.
Really,
nothing that stood out.
Yeah, nothing stood out to me this time. Hopefully next time we'll have more to comment on there. Spooky moment, the balcony situation. I don't know. That whole thing was just something was like weird about it. I don't know.
Talking
it made me
about
feel like
severing heads.
The severed head, yeah.
We're talking about spying on people that are naked. That's not right. That's weird.
They use the word undulating.
Oh.
And then they did it on like the stone and the concrete and stone. Yeah, just like, no.
That's scary.
I'm terrified thinking about that.
Yeah, just no.
So that
the whole balcony
I'm just
scene
like, I don't.
Is our spooky moment. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, wholesome moment. Like, was there
a wholesome moment?
How about when Emily goes and tells Rory, like, you're good. You are the good in this world. How about that moment?
Yes, I agree with that, actually. Yeah, I think that's a good wholesome moment between the two of them. You are the good in this world.
Okay, romantic analysis. Do we think that the Luke-Lorelai thing has regressed after this infraction?
Infarction.
I'm like, I almost said infarction. I'm like, that's not...
A myocardial infarction.
That's not the right one. Myocardial infarction. I just wanted to say it.
Yes. It feels that way at the end of this to me, but how do you feel?
It feels that way too. Yeah. It feels like, remember what I said? I was like, they're not getting together this season. Remember when I said that? I still think that. I still think that. So far, it's on track with what I said. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. That was questioned. Nicholas was here.
I know. Nicholas was really trying to push you to be like, really, Alexandria?
Yeah, like, really? They're not going to get together. I'm like, no.
You're sticking to it. That's fine.
This is a long game thing. This is going to be a thing that's going to keep us questioning what's going to happen for like the whole show. I can just, that's just how it feels to me right now.
Yeah.
And I could be totally wrong. Maybe they get together next episode. I don't think that's going to happen. That's all I'm saying. I don't think so. I think this is like a long
game.
Like a long game. It's just a long game thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they get together and they break up. Like he's mentioned that. Okay, fine. Maybe that happens. But no, I'm still sticking with that. And then Christopher, I kind of already talked about what I think.
You think maybe he'll come back, but it's going to be further down the line.
Yeah. We're not going to see him again anytime soon. But maybe, like in a later season, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's Christopher again. They revisit it because it's like been some time, you know?
Yeah.
I could see that. Okay. Quotes.
Richard saying, well, I'm better than most, not as good as some, and annoyed at all. I like that.
I think that is like a really strong contender for like one of the best quotes of maybe this whole season. Like that's like a good quote.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the season we gotta like what are our top 3 quotes of the season?
We have to.
We'll do like a season 1 like recap and like discuss everything. I think we should do that.
I think so too. I like that quote. Can I tell you one I like?
Yeah.
The Miss Patty interaction.
Okay.
I'm one of her mothers. Since you're her father, that would make us a couple. A couple of what? I don't know. Yeah. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. I just was laughing so hard at
that
this.
That was good.
Like,
a couple of what? I don't know.
A couple of what? I don't know. Like, what?
Yeah.
All right. And then just like general predictions. I think we'll probably swing back to Rory as the focus maybe next episode. Move back, see what's going on in Rory's social life next time.
Yeah. Next episode is called Star-Crossed Lovers and Other Strangers.
What?
Wait
a minute.
What could it mean?
Wait, star-crossed lovers and other strangers?
Yeah.
See, this is whenever there's like a romance like implication, I never know who they're talking about. Which is kind of fun. Like I'm like, are they talking about is somebody new gonna come in to like Lorelai's but I think they're gonna go back to Rory. But it could be Lane. It could be Lane. I don't know who that's talking about.
Next episode, there's a lot that happens.
I don't know who the title is exactly talking about.
You never know. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
Keeps you guessing. All right, guys. That was episode 15. And next time we'll be discussing episode 16, Star-Crossed Lovers and Other Strangers.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to us on whatever platform you are listening on.
And if you guys are enjoying our show, give us a little love and support at buymeacoffee.com/sistersandstarshollow. We love hearing from you all. And you can like us on TikTok and Instagram.
Until next time, keep the coffee flowing.